Hi everyone, welcome back to the Get Chatty about your local businesses series. And today I have my friend Lucas here with me. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning to you. Happy Easter Sunday.
Yes, it's nice and warm today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's good. Us entrepreneurs always got to be on the alert. So Easter Sunday is nothing for us.
No, not at all. I actually got something due just before Easter, so it's been a mad dash of everything. And I
Yeah.
was visiting friends and family in Sydney, so we just kind of like truncated everything. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yep. Yep. A matchup.
Yeah, so thank you so much for taking part in this series. And do you mind
Problem.
letting the audience know a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So I've been working in innovation entrepreneurial space for like a number of years now. I'm just finishing a PhD actually. So PhDs are part of this story, but really what I'm interested in is helping small businesses to evaluate their businesses. And I used to be pretty interested in the technology side of it, but now I'm sort of looking at solutions for small business that are technology agnostic or not so novel. I found that um, lots of benefits can be got to small business just from
Mm.
applying existing marketing and technology type equipment out there, software out there.
How did you meet Arthur the Chatty Curator?
We worked at a college together, and I was business trainer there, and you were brought in as the marketing manager, and you brought in a really good spirit into the place. It was good to see somebody come in and really, this is not going to
Thank
work
you.
here in Australia.
It's I mean, it's a short contract, and I value the experience there, and it's a big eye opener. But look, I
Yeah,
mean, I'm just being loud and myself, and never shut up.
that's the one. There's
uh,
too much vanilla out there. Vanilla's not going to change things up, is it?
Absolutely. From my understanding, that place was a startup, and many startup that they just feel. Look, I mean, if you're being a startup, one of the ways to approach it is being a disruptor, and sometimes that you can't be vanilla when you want to be
Yeah,
a disruptor. I think it's very interesting that because 2020, a lot of my friends that work in sales had a really stressful year because they want to make
yeah,
sure that
sure.
they meet their KPI. But like you said, that
Yeah,
they are, um, it's more likely they would achieve their KPI with an established product. But then that means
yes,
the
yes,
space
yeah,
for innovation to give
yes,
that chance for
yeah.
something new become something. I don't understand entirely how sales work. I mean, it's too stressful for me.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm just a person who talk rubbish on the internet to promote stuff. You
Yeah.
know, but I think it's a very interesting gap that there's all these different departments working in silos
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
it's it's not very helpful.
exactly.
Uh, And
And unfortunately, these silos exist even in the small medium enterprises, which is
it
where they
does.
shouldn't be existing, you know?
It does. I think it's just um, even if there's a tiny little team, it can still happen. And yeah, well, anyway, back to my original
Yeah,
question. So you kind of
I missed
answer
it.
that. You kind of answer that already, but can you tell me a bit more about your 2021 plan?
2021. Whoa.
Good.
Okay. So at the moment, I'm actually really just focused on helping these SMEs at the moment. Everything else has sort of gone into the background. Even though I'm having a child, that's also very important. First child of my
Congratulations.
life. I put my foot fully into the water, so to do this full time now. So
Excellent.
it's different because I'm not. If you look at all the other companies out there, they're trying to help SMEs by leveraging the R&D and gearing or aligning themselves with the where that handouts are for government. But I've kind of gone, well, I don't think that's working, and I really think I can create value for companies after R&D in those
Mm.
steps and help them make fast and effective decisions around that. Yeah,
I like what you just said, fast and effective decisions, because we
yeah,
are uh, that I just think it feels like, based on what I can see on the news, that it feels like public resources might not be fast and effective enough,
that's right.
particularly for parts of the economy like small to medium businesses, social enterprise,
Yeah,
or people a little bit older. Actually, just wondering, how
yeah.
do you feel that um, how they navigate in the current space, and what New Age can
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, well, the way we do it, we don't like to talk about our platform and technology too much, because some companies just talk about their features and functionality, but we're technology enabled to make it easier for companies. So meaning that you come to us with a product, and then we look at how to increase the value of that product and reduce the costs in your business along those points we just talked about after R&D. And there'll be one or two, because companies know their customers really well and their products. So it's not like I'm going to tell them something they don't know about their own customer. But by looking at these things like customer segment, customer application, customer knowledge and experience in the product, your marketing, right over to after sales service, there'll be a couple of really high value add things that they hadn't considered. And then we set up a project around that, and we look at getting a really high measurable return on their investment. And what we try and do, we try and leverage what they've already got. And that's the capabilities that they have before we talk about building and acquiring new ones. That's the system.
Yeah. I think it's very important that way, because work what you got. And I think from a content marketer best practice is sometimes there are stories or ideas and information within the company or organization that actually can be a really great resources to tell the story. And and sometimes these stories are what's different from like what you said, one of these application that they say all these feature 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if you just do Google, look, I mean, if you just do Googling, there's probably at least another 10 companies that do the same. So
the first you look at what the unmet customer need, and have you found the right group of unmet customer needs. And what we're finding too is that a lot of these customers are overserved, and most companies only focus on underserved customers, and they use that term in a synonym with unmet needs. But we've got overserved customers. If you think about the next iPhone coming out, I couldn't care less. I stay a year behind to save a bit of money, and I'm a technology advancer. So that's the example of a market that's overserved and ripe for splitting up and disrupting.
Oh gosh, I lost track of how many versions were there. With the phones,
it's more bells and whistles.
Sometimes I just want to ask, do they make calls?
Yeah.
They make calls, right?
I've heard some interesting jokes about Zoom. There's some people have seriously said, look, I found that Zoom works better when you minimize the screen and turn off the video. And people are like, well, isn't that just making a phone call? You know what I mean? Like, the solution and the customer need stays the same. The technology will always change, but the customer need to communicate is always going to be there. Okay.
Lucas, thank you so much for your time, for taking part in this interview. Get chatty about your local businesses. Now, do you mind telling people how they can find you?
LinkedIn, you can find me, and newledge.io, which is NEWLEDGE.io. And feel free to contact me, my email address as well, Lucas, LUCAS, @newledge.io. Happy to help, and I think we can create a lot of value together. So be happy to hear from any small businesses with a product that they want to increase the value of and or save some money in their business.
Send an email, send a message, see how it all goes, seriously.
That's right.
And in that case, thank you so much for taking part in this, and good luck with New Age, and all the contact information are underneath this video. And so let's keep on chatting about businesses. Thank you.